Happy Sunday, Call the Shots fans. I owe you all an apology for my inconsistency over the past several weeks, but I promise it's been for a good reason. You're just going to have to stick around and get through those Sunday scaries to hear why. It's been a big weekend for football, both the kind that you play with your hands and with your feet. We have a new Heisman Trophy winner, who, by the way, got to sit down with Tim Tebow a couple days ago, and 2018 MLS Champions. Plus, a couple of NBA superstars prepare for their final matchup. It all happens here when I call the shots. This weekend, Kyler Murray became the second straight Oklahoma quarterback to win the Heisman Trophy, following in the footsteps of former teammate Baker Mayfield. This season, he threw for over 4,000 yards, 40 touchdowns, beating out his fellow quarterbacks Tua Tagovailoa of Alabama and Dwayne Haskins of Ohio State. In August, just before Nick Saban named him the Crimson Tide starting quarterback, Tagovailoa was the betting favorite for the Heisman, and he remained the favorite until earlier this week, when the odds suddenly shifted in Murray's favor. It might have had something to do with Oklahoma's leaky defense needing to be bailed out by its offense. Plus, Tagovailoa kind of picked a bad time to have his worst game of the season, throwing 2 interceptions during the SEC championship game against Georgia and then leaving early with a sprained ankle. Also in attendance at the Heisman Trophy ceremony was 1958 winner Pete Dawkins, who led the West Point Black Knights to victory with an undefeated season that year as a running back. He had a particularly large smile on his face because this is also the weekend that Army beat Navy in their rivalry series for the 3rd year in a row. With such a Heisman race, it's easy to see why soccer is often overshadowed in the US. But if you tuned into any of the Atlanta versus Portland battle for the MLS Cup, you would have been on the edge of your seats. The Timbers had an impressive postseason run with Giovanni Savarese in his first season as manager. But Portland's reliance on counterattacking strategy has its limits. All it takes is one special play or one mistake to render that strategy essentially useless. Atlanta, on the other hand, took a more patient approach with their opponents, and that is what led to a victory. Cue the dawn of summer, because LeBron James and Dwayne Wade will be doing their last dance on Monday when the Lakers take on the Heat at home. Wade is retiring at the end of the season, which means this is the last time you will see these two former teammates, arguably some of the most successful in NBA history, on the court together. The Lakers go into Monday's matchup having won 12 of their last 16 games to push their record to 16-10. Miami, on the other hand, has won 3 of their last 4 games, but they're just 10-14 overall. As promised, I have an exciting announcement in this week's Sunday Scaries. Make that 2 exciting announcements. These still fall under the Sunday Scaries umbrella because they're new, intriguing, and therefore kind of scary. Announcement number 1. I'm moving. After 2 years in New York City at NBC, I will be going back upstate at the end of the month to start a new job. I've been going back and forth for interviews, so that's kind of my excuse for being MIA on some Sundays. Announcement number 2. We're moving. To YouTube, that is. Call the Shots has been exclusive to Instagram TV since July, but Instagram TV isn't fully developed yet, which makes it difficult to share the videos across multiple platforms. So in the coming weeks, I'll be publishing episodes in different formats on Instagram TV and YouTube. But you're going to have to follow along on both platforms because I'll be posting exclusive content on each. That wraps it up for this week's episode of Call the Shots. I'm Olivia Jakewith, and I will see you next week.